Hi, my name is Joe Miller. In this video, we're going to cover a unique course, which is Oxford's Law and Finance Masters. Before beginning, it's important to note if you're watching this video, you're probably also interested in LSE's brand new Law and Finance course that they're going to announce in the first week of October 2024. So keep an eye out for that, as well as a video that we'll do on that course once it's launched. It's important to note that like most of Oxford's Masters courses, this is exceptionally competitive. Year on year, the acceptance rate hovers around 10%, with students applying from all over the world. It's therefore really important that you nail this application in order to stand a good chance. Tip number 1. Take control of the entire application process. You will have likely seen already on Oxford's website that they only ask you for a 300-word personal statement. It's therefore no surprise that the personal statement is actually not the most important part of this application process. This is going to be a trend that runs throughout this video, and it's really important that you take note of how you can elevate your application in the other areas, whether it be the reference, your CV, your supplementary written work, and your transcript. Tip number 2 then is to ace your CV. You are ultimately submitting an application to 2 departments here. One is Said Business School, and they want to see a more professional CV, and the other is the Faculty of Law at Oxford, which perhaps wants to see more academic elements on your CV. It's therefore really important that you give equal consideration to both your professional experience, whether those be summer vacation schemes at law firms or perhaps summer or spring internships at investment banks, as well as your academic achievements, whether those be high grades, particular ranks or awards that you've won at university, or even scholarships and positions of leadership. Please balance this on your CV. We see far too many candidates that neglect one or the other. It's also really important to note that throughout your application, especially on the CV, you need to form a cohesive career story. Oxford need to understand what have you done in the past, where are you going in the future, and how does this quite unusual interdisciplinary masters bridge the gap between the two. A good example, I had a client last year who had an offer at a law firm, but he was going to work in the financial side to law, private equity law. Therefore, studying a finance and law masters after being at law school provided a great bridge, and we were able to talk about specific modules and whatever else on his application to show that. Similarly, you might be somebody pursuing a finance career, but you understand how important the legal aspects of finance are, and you might therefore work backwards from your experience in that way. The point I'm making is it's really important that Oxford understands what this career story is. Tip number 3, nail your references. Oxford are one of the few universities out there who ask for 3 academic references. At least 2 of them must be academic. We recommend the 3rd one be professional. Don't simply ask your professors at university or your employer or perhaps supervisor on an internship or vacation scheme to write a reference and leave it at that. Don't trust that they will say what you need them to say to get you into Oxford. Take control of the situation. Offer to draft parts of the reference. If you're not able to do that, offer to provide the content that they can include in the reference. I've created a long email template that I've been using now for 3 to 4 years, helping students do exactly this, so that we can be sure their references are strong and include exactly what Oxford want to see. Tip number 4, you'll notice that Oxford ask for a supplementary piece of written work, and they actually place more emphasis on this written work than they do on the 300-word motivation statement that you'll also write. The supplementary piece of written work needs to be 2,000 words. It can be an essay of 2,000 words or less, or it can also be an excerpt of 2,000 words from a longer piece of work, like perhaps an undergraduate dissertation. The most important thing here is that this piece of written work is on a legal topic and ideally includes financial aspects of law so that it's super relevant to your application, to that coherent career story that I was talking about, and perhaps it also substantiates other elements of your CV. In this way, you can combine each element of your entire application into one strong argument for why you want to study both finance and law. Fifth, finally, and most importantly, remember that you're applying to Oxford and that they place the greatest emphasis on your academic achievements. There is no substitute for having a great academic transcript. It's therefore really important, if you're an undergraduate student, to spend lots of time doing well in your undergraduate studies, scoring high grades across the board. If perhaps there are weaker areas of your academic studies, perhaps the odd bad grade, or perhaps bad grades across a certain period of time or topic, it's really important that you address this by telling Oxford about mitigating circumstances or any exceptional cases that may have hindered your ability to score well. Again, going back to my third point, the references are a really, really good way for you to do this. Again, going back to point number 3, the references where there is no real word limit are a great way for you to do this, so that Oxford are completely aware of any flaws, any circumstances that may have been the reason for a bad grade. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found these 5 quick tips interesting and useful. If you or anyone you know are thinking of applying to Oxford's Law and Finance Masters, please do get in touch either with myself or with one of the many expert admissions tutors here at the Profs. There is information on the screen now that you can use to get in touch. Above all else though, good luck with your application.